In addition to the pigs and poultry, we also grew a lot of plants for the trade. And I used to ring up from work to these different places and get the orders. And I was very interested in pigeons. So I'd take a couple of pigeons to work with me and put a little tiny note with a rubber band round the leg and let the pigeon go, because we had no telephone, you see, and you couldn't get a telephone in those days. So Daisy would wait for the pigeon to go in the loft. Sometimes they were a bit stubborn, they took a long time to go in, and remove the little note and find out exactly what the orders were for the following day, you see. So that's how we worked it. But in later years we did manage to get a telephone. Yeah. So.
On a Wednesday there was the stall market, which was a very big affair, and you'd have 20 coaches come up from South Wales, 10 to 20 virtually every week in the summer period, and it would be absolutely buzzing.
During the summer they'd have what they call a miners' fortnight, where they'd be on holiday, and you couldn't walk through the market. If you wanted to get into High Town, you'd have to walk around. It was that, my father couldn't cut steak and chops quick enough.
On hot days, I remember people having to carry office chairs above head height through the throng of people to get to someone who'd fainted in the heat. It was incredible. You were actually. I remember carrying an office chair over everyone's shoulders, with one hand holding onto one leg of the chair to try and get it through to a lady who'd fainted in the middle of the crowd. It was that crowded.
And I remember the man who sold the crockery. Do you remember his name was Walter Davis?
Well, he was
from Birmingham.
Worcester.
Was he from? Oh, sorry, from Worcester. And it was the highlight of people's day to flock to Hereford Market to see him throwing the dinner services in the air and catching them and banging them and telling you how cheap you could buy it. And he had a great big loud voice. Do you remember him, Eddie?
He used to come along as well with his brother and sell linoleum from the back of a lorry.
Oh, I think he did, yes.
Market traders were very special people that they have their own language and their own terminology. So, for instance, a market officer or a market inspector is known as a Toby. So, excuse me, mate, are you the Toby? Where's your office? And all that kind of thing. So that was the first thing. So if they used to draw a crowd was known as an edge. Pulling the edge is the art of drawing the crowd in. And then twirling the edge is the art of spieling like a spinning top. So you're like spinning your story to the edge and they're gradually getting drawn in and all this kind of thing. And then the first thing they do is they do ramping. Now, ramping is ramping the price up. So I've got a genuine imitation a Wedgwood tea set here. Look at that, lovely, lovely markings on that. Can you see that? So this is worth, in the shops, you won't get this for 50 quid. That's ramping, so it's putting the price artificially up. And then what they do then is they start batting. And batting is batting the price back down. So it's, in the shops it'll be 50 quid. I don't want 40 quid for it. I don't want 30 quid for it. I don't want 10 quid for it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is breaking my heart. I'll give you this for a fiver.
If he had things there that would sell, that were cheaper, that would do the same job and last as long, he would sell that to people. So people always used to come back to him because of his knowledge and because he was just a very honest man as such. So he got to know people that way, but also the other people within the businesses. I mean, he would buy things from all the different businesses there. So, he would go to Bearings, Belts and Sprockets, to Carlton, who worked there, and buy certain bits and bobs for his business. He would go to the actual market itself.
Part of our job as market inspectors was to resolve complaints and disputes between customers and the retail traders. So a customer would come into the office and say, I bought this last week and I washed it once and it's fallen apart, or it's broken or something like that. So we'd have to go out to the stall and mediate between the customer and the trader. And so we had to have some knowledge of interpersonal skills and sales of goods acts and all this kind of thing. But lots and lots of occasions happened. One memorable occasion was a teenage girl came into the office with all her mates, and said, are you the boss here? Are you in charge? I said, yes. What can we do for you? He says, I got a complaint about one of your traders. I bought a skirt from him last week and it don't fit and it's horrible and I want to give it back and I want my money back for it. I said, okay, have you got the skirt, please? And she said, well, I'm wearing it, ain't I?
It was a busy, bustling market. It was really packed of traders, packed of customers. Every Saturday I was there. It was, well, I think the best times was in the 90s, early 90s, then onwards, so well, up to the late 90s when the foot and mouth come in, then it really died off then.